Welcome to WCC This Week. We are in San Diego as you're looking at the Star of India. Now we're coming inside the Jenny Craig Pavilion as we get set for Santa Clara and San Diego at the top of the hour. Hello, everyone. My name is Ari Wolf alongside the coach, Brad Holland. So glad to be with Coach, and so glad that you've joined us. So, Coach, for this matchup we're going to get to in a little bit, we've got your old program, San Diego, here hosting Santa Clara. But this past week in the WCC, a lot of big games, including a critical one on Thursday night.
Ari, I think the most compelling thing is Gonzaga and how good they are. They're truly a top 10 program in the country. You know, they should have beat Butler at Butler if it weren't for an errant inbound pass. Then they go home against BYU, a very good BYU team, and hold Tyler Hawes, the leading scorer in conference, to 1 point and just really pretty much crushed the Cougars and showed their dominance of the league so far. Yeah,
Gonzaga, the number 10 team in the country, and they certainly came back against BYU and played some great basketball. So now let's get to the tail of the tape of our game today. But first, let's go to the matchups that'll be going on later today. Right after us, it'll be Pepperdine at St. Mary's, followed by San Francisco at Gonzaga, and then BYU at Portland will start at 7:30. And the tail of the tape in our game, Santa Clara against USD. Fascinating matchup. Two teams just separated by one game in conference play.
Yeah, two teams that are a lot alike. You know, they both like to control tempo. They both score from the three-point line accurately, and they're both pretty good defensive teams. So really good matchup today.
And the best player on the court, no doubt, will be from Santa Clara, Kevin Foster, all-time leading scorer and one of the great three-point shooters in program history.
Kevin Foster is so tough to guard for opponents. You know, he can score in a variety of ways. He's got deep range from the arc. He's got a really good pull-up mid-range game. He's got a great crossover, and he uses on-ball screens extremely well to get to the rim. So Kevin Foster, as you can see, the reigning WCC Player of the Week. What a week he had. A lot of points scored, obviously, and then look at the three-point percentage, shooting 57% from the arc.
That's outstanding. Just a few moments ago, our guy, Coach Brad Holland, had a chance to talk with Santa Clara head coach Kerry Keating.
Seems like he's been here for 20 years. I mean, he's been a starter almost from day one. Learned a lot pretty quickly, has some natural talent that he's always had, and has kind of run the gamut for everything he could possibly do as a player, obviously being our current all-time leading scorer and then some, but really a very underrated passer, a great teammate. You know, obviously has been through his share of mistakes and has learned from them, and really proud that he's been able to bounce back and get us to this point in the season, be able to come back, finish his degree. He'll graduate at the end of this quarter. Looking forward to seeing what he can do for us, even more so with more season left in us, because the last time he was fully healthy, he helped us get to a championship. But really proud that we were able to get him as an unheralded recruit, really beat nobody for him. He committed to us before he came even on campus. His family's been great with us, put a lot of trust in us coming away from home, being from Houston, and really great to have a chance to help him get his degree and obviously graduate soon here with a lot of accolades to boot.
Playing today, San Diego, they're 4-2 in league, you're 3-3. Seems to be a pretty important game in terms of the conference tournament and seeding and such.
And very similar teams, too, in terms of the makeup, the depth, the type of players that we both have, the way that we use those players. It seems like these games are always close in the 6 years that we've been here. Obviously, they got off to a great start going 4-0. You know, we had a better pre-conference season, but here we are in the middle of the season now, both fighting to try to get to that upper echelon where St. Mary's and BYU and Gonzaga now reside. And really important game to kind of try to stay on track to stay in that top four, as we know with the seeding system that we have is big, but we can't worry about that as a team. We got to worry about that game, let the rest take care of itself. But as you and I know as coaches, you try to look a little bigger picture, understand how really important this game is.
In terms of the bigger picture of the conference tournament and whatnot, what's your take on the conference this year? I mean, the big three obviously are very, very good, but what's your take on the conference overall?
It's been phenomenal. I mean, the rise of it, and Gonzaga has really led that over the last decade, being able to add BYU. What Randy's been able to do over the course of that decade, trying to keep tabs with Gonzaga, he's raised the level of his program. You kind of see everyone else kind of raising that as well, both in their recruiting efforts, both in their support efforts. Certainly, it's always been a strong academic conference and a strong competitive conference. It's getting more of a national recognition now. I think we have 4 teams in our conference that are among the top 25 in scoring. You got 3 teams that are among 5 in the last 5 years that have won 25 games. It's kind of sitting out there on the West Coast, and being from the East Coast, I get that a lot of people back east won't see us, but I think you'll see a lot of teams in postseason from this conference and all different type of postseason tournaments, and I think in the end that will really tell the biggest result of how good this conference really is.
Coach, this depth in this conference, certainly Coach Keating's impressed with. How do you feel about the depth in the conference this season?
Well, I think it's a 3-team league getting into the NC2A tournament, and that's huge. It's only happened twice in the WCC history, so when you're looking at Gonzaga and BYU and, of course, St. Mary's, they got a great chance of being in the tournament. However, if someone sneaks in like a San Diego or Santa Clara and wins the conference tournament, they'll still get 3 in.
All right, we're going to take a break on WCC this week, but then we are going to head back to Southern California, but up the road a little bit, as Chris McGee and Dave Miller talk WCC this week.
Welcome back to WCC This Week in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee alongside the coach, Dave Miller. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Chris, I'm ready for some WCC highlights.
I had a feeling you were. Let's get to the conference highlights from earlier this week. Gonzaga and BYU, 2 of the Titans going at it. Kelly Olynyk, number 10 Zags at the new kennel, taking on BYU. First half, Zags up 6. Elias Harris, alley-oop to Olynyk. He finishes with a reverse dunk. Olynyk is pumped. Gonzaga up.
That's a big to a big 6'8" to 7-foot alley-oop connection. Regulators mount up.
Coach Harris on fire early.
Well, what I liked was the pick and pop, the dribble drive. That's versatility.
BYU goes zone. Good passing by the Bulldog. Gary Bell Jr. finds Harris again for the layup and 1. Gonzaga up 12 after the free throw. Harris with 14 points in the first half. Coach, Kevin Pangos can light it up.
Are you sure that's Pangos? It looked like Chris Duhon. It was so deep of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Second half, the route continues. Pangos, Striker. He hits it again. Gonzaga up 23.
That's how you beat a zone. Good ball movement.
Gonzaga up 19. Olynyk, the feed to Mike Hart for the easy layup.
Right here, you see the big, it's a give, it's a go. They really have a great feel for each other versus that zone. Right there, nice little dribble penetration. The big guy gets his target hands up. That's an easy bank shot.
Later in the second, Gonzaga rolling Olynyk, short jumper. Olynyk, a perfect 9 for 9 from the field, 8 from 8 from the free throw line, 26 points. Gonzaga wins 83-63. St. Mary's, the Gales taking on the Toreros from San Diego. Matthew Dellavedova and the Gales looking for their 4th straight win in WCC play. San Diego already has 4 wins. Dellavedova drives, dishes. Mitchell Young for the dunk.
Well, I love the way he penetrates. He draws the 2 defenders, and Mitchell Young, he's getting jiggy with it.
And later in the half, Toreros down 11. Ken Ransford, he drills the 3 from the corner, cuts the lead to 8. Next possession for the Gales, Bodo's threes. Bo Levesque nails it. Coach, Levesque's going to heat up.
Well, watch him. He gets his feet set. He's so wide open. That's target practice. St. Mary's up 16.
Later, St. Mary's up big. Brad Waldow gets the dish and the dunk. Dellavedova 7 assists. And then, Coach, second half, Gales up big. Your boy, Dellavedova.
Well, to beat a zone, you got to screen in, catch and shoot. He drills the 3. Gales up 29.
Where's Waldow? There he is. Dellavedova finds him. The Aussie with a season-high 11 assists. St. Mary's wins 81-48. LMU, Pepperdine, the PCH rivalry. Both teams with 1 win in conference play. LMU 1-5, Pepperdine 1-4. The first half we go. Lions out early. Ashley Hamilton, put back dunk. Coach, let's take another look at this.
He's long, he's relentless, and you better bow down when you come to his town.
Pepperdine not going away. Jordan Baker hits the 3, 21.7 boards, part of a Pepperdine 8-0 run. And then later, Coach, waves rolling.
I love the kick out. Jet Rains catch and shoot, waves up 4 at the half. He's just getting heated up.
Second half, Alex Osborne drives, layup with the left. LMU down 1, Osborne 10 points. And then Anthony Ireland, Coach, he's good.
Real good.
Hits the triple, 14.7 boards. And then, Coach, Pepperdine's trying to take over.
I like the way they push it in transition, but LMU has to stop the ball. Waves up 6.
Coach, Lions storming back.
Well, I like the extra pass. Hamilton in the corner, 3-ball, net noise, LMU within 4.
Ayo Deji Egbayemi kisses it off the glass. LMU within 2, final seconds. This is not the shot that Max Good wanted. Ireland, it won't go. Jeff Lear from the 92 Pep team, he's proud of the Waves. They win 60-57. The San Francisco Dons got a road conference victory over Portland, edging the Pilots 75-72 on Thursday night. Cole Dickerson had 15 points as the Dons improved to 9-11 overall, 2-5 in WCC play. Dons dominated the battle of the benches, outscoring the Pilot reserves 35-16. We take a look at the standings. Gonzaga, number 10 in the country, unbeaten in WCC play at 5-0. St. Mary's 5-1. They're on fire. BYU drops to 5-2 along with San Diego at 4-2. LMU been in some close games, but they're at 1-6. All right, Coach, Gonzaga still unbeaten in the conference. They had a tough non-conference loss, only their second loss of the year at Butler. They lost on a buzzer beater, but man, did they respond.
They do, and they've got high major bigs. We know about Olynyk, but it's Harris that really has impressed me. He's so versatile. He's mobile. He's agile. He's a fourth-year player that has really developed. He can score inside. He knows how to read the defense. He's extremely active without the ball. He can pick and pop. He can shoot the three. He's really a mismatch for most opponents. I just love the way he moves. He's got a high basketball IQ. Those bigs really complement those good guards.
All right, Coach, full slate of games today. Which one are you looking forward to and why?
Well, I think Pepperdine at St. Mary's will interest me because Dellavedova, he not only impresses me, but he continues to improve. He's a guy that can shoot it off the catch. He can certainly shoot it off the dribble, but it's his will to win that I love. He's excellent in the pick and roll, and he's physical enough that he can bump and grind and get up and shoot over the defense. I also think in certain situations, you can post him up. That's how tough a guy I think he is.
Yeah, Dellavedova, 6th leading scorer in the conference, and even more impressive, 2nd in assists. All right, Coach, game of the week, Santa Clara, San Diego. It's going to be a fast-paced game.
Well, it sure is. That's a set of guards that are going to have to compete. You have Rockamore and Foster, and then you have Dee, and you've got Chris Anderson. He's a sophomore guard that's lightning quick. He can shoot the three, isn't afraid to mix it up in the paint, and he competes on every play. He's really pesky on defense. He likes to come back, steal the ball. He's a smart student athlete on and off the court. We talk about the guards, but this game will be decided by the power forward, the four-man. You've got Trazzolini versus Manrissa. Whichever four plays better, I think that team wins.
Up top. Nice work. He's known as Johnny Dynamite, from Little League World Series to star college guard. You don't want to miss Johnny Dee's journey to the University of San Diego. For the second time this season, senior guard Kevin Foster of Santa Clara is the WCC Player of the Week. Foster averaged over 27 points per game in a pair of Bronco road wins against USF and Pepperdine. Foster shot over 62% from the floor and notched his first career double-double in the win at USF. Standing at 6 feet tall, San Diego sophomore guard Johnny Dee has always heard the doubters. Too small to play the wing in high school, too small to even play in college. But Dee never listened, and he's proving the skeptics wrong as he leads the Toreros in scoring. But Dee knows there's still plenty of work to be done.
I'm Johnny Dee, a sophomore guard from San Diego, California.
Johnny Dynamite, there he goes. Dee open for a three. That rim through and good.
Sports are a big thing in my family. My dad played for the Colts and Seahawks, college football at Tulsa. And then my grandpa ended up playing for the '68 Olympic team that won a gold medal.
For me to get the opportunity to play in Indianapolis for the Indianapolis Colts 20 years after my dad played in Indianapolis for the Indiana Pacers, exactly 20 years, was really a pretty cool thing for our family.
Title IX had happened, so they needed to add a girls' sport. And so I said, well, I'll do it, and asked a couple of my sorority sisters. And it was like half of our house actually did. I mean, there was probably 5 or 6 of us.
She was telling me that, she didn't plan on, running in college, but with Title IX and everything, they said they had to cut the football team unless they can get some cross-country runners. So she stepped right in because she loved the football team and ran in college, yeah. As a kid, it was weird. I always felt, okay, so my dad plays football, my grandpa played basketball, I have to play baseball. I felt like it was just the way the cycle had to be.
I never really sensed that it was pressure, but I did believe that he had a strong desire to want to succeed athletically. And I could relate to that because of my relationship with my father.
My family's never really pressured me to do anything, is what I is really thankful for. They let me kind of go the way I wanted to do, like what sports I wanted to play. My mom loves baseball. I think she loved that. When we went to the League World Series, that made her really happy, just seeing me play baseball.
It was a tremendous amount of fun for us as a family to be able to sit in the stands and watch that team do so well.
That was one of the big sports moments in my life. My first home run, actually, in that Little League run. We just made it to Williamsport and got third in the world, but it was a lot of fun.
It was such a blast. That's probably one of our fondest memories.
The whole atmosphere of walking around and people knowing you play on a Little League team, it was a lot of fun. I don't see it as a hindrance, but, you know, for people telling me, you know, you're a little small to play the wing position in high school even, and then in college, I've definitely heard that from a lot of coaches. I want to move you to point guard.
I guarantee we probably sent 60, 70 game films, transcripts, you know, and coaches would call, and then it was like, really? You know, the height is that big a deal?
I was always told, you know, you have to have the point guard. Probably too small. It would be tough to guard those big two guards in college. But, you know, I just kind of, you know, kept working, and I believed in myself.
And now Dee with a breakaway, throwing up off the glass, score it, and a foul.
I think he really held it in pretty well. There was one day during the recruiting process when a lot of schools were calling and say they'd show up at practice or that they were going to bring him in for a visit, and they just didn't pan out. And I think that was a time when he was a little discouraged. And we just encouraged him to pray it through and to continue to believe in himself and to know that God had a plan for his life.
I always told him, you know, they measured your height and they measured your weight, but no one ever measured your heart. He's got the biggest heart there is when it comes to working hard.
My one scholarship offer was to Portland State, and I took the visit, loved it there, loved the coaches, loved the players, but I didn't feel that that's where God wanted me to be. It was through a lot of prayer with my family. I understood that, you know, this walk-on position that Coach Greer asked me, because they didn't have a scholarship available, they said I could work my way to get one, and I committed there.
We believe, Jackie and I, that even if we had to pay the first year, that was the place where he was supposed to be. And that's the place, more importantly, that he wanted to be. And so we committed as a family that let's go down this road and see where it'll lead us.
I absolutely love, you know, having to be able to come see my family after the game. They're always supporting me, and, you know, it's just really, it's awesome. I got a sister. She's a senior in high school, and she's a baller. She's going to Irvine on a basketball scholarship, so I'm happy for her.
And a great day would be maybe catching an afternoon game at UCI and then having only an hour to drive down the freeway, Interstate 5, and catching the USD game at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. That'd be a perfect day.
I feel a real peace knowing that it's his faith. You know, it's not because we told him he needs to go to church or he's seen us do it. It's real for him. The test has been, you know, Johnny going off to college, and will he continue to do that, you know, now that he's been at college, and he has.
Both of our kids, Jackie and I are most proud and most delighted about the kind of people that they are. And I would tell you that it's their character in Christ that's making them who they are as a young man and as a young woman.
I'm so happy for him that God's given him the opportunity to get to realize his dream, because he really always has wanted to play basketball.
You know, it'd be a dream come true and a blessing if I was able to play basketball professionally somewhere. That's kind of where I'm striving for right now. And then, you know, we're just going to follow God wherever he leads me.
Here's a look at the WCC Game of the Week schedule today. It's Santa Clara visiting San Diego. That tips off at 1 p.m. Next week, it's San Francisco at Pepperdine at 2:30. Coach, the Dee family, I mean, tremendous athletes. The sister, by the way, just rising right there and going to drain. But Johnny Dee, you and I have watched San Diego play a couple times. We love this kid's game. I mean, he plays on both ends of the floor.
An undersized two-guard that is extremely hard to guard. You talk about a fierce competitor. He's that way defensively. He stays between his man and the basket. He has the ability to shoot it lights out. But what makes him so good, he understands angles. So I know he has a high basketball IQ, but he's got to be a really smart student athlete, because he, as well as any guard in the WCC, he understands angles. And when you watch him receive a screen, that's what gives him the edge coming off, because he needs very little air time to get that shot off. And it is a beautiful jump shot.
Johnny Dee, keep up the good work, young man. That's it for me and Coach. We'll get you back out to San Diego, Jenny Craig Pavilion. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to WCC This Week. We are in San Diego. Mother Nature starting to cooperate, turning into a nice afternoon here in San Diego as we get set for Santa Clara and San Diego, which will be coming up at the top of the hour. All right, we'll alongside the coach, Brad Holland. And, Coach, for USD, they've got two terrific guards in Chris Anderson and Johnny Dee. It's sort of who's your favorite? Everybody seems to love both guys, but together they are a dynamic duo in the backcourt.
They certainly are. They're diminutive, but they play much bigger than they are. You can see statistically they're very, very good. They're the leading scorers for the Toreros, and Chris Anderson is one of the best on-ball defenders in the conference.
Just a few minutes ago, Coach Holland had a chance to visit with Coach Greer, and Coach Greer talking about his two outstanding guards.
Well, first of all, I think they bring a real competitive edge, you know, at their size, you know, being small for their positions. They have to play with the chip on their shoulder. And both of them are gym rats, and I think they have an infectious way about them, just their personalities, and I think that has really helped our team to understand that you have to get down to the gym, work on your game, and just a certain way that you have to play in order to be successful. And they do so many things to help this program, not only on the floor, but off the floor, with how they are in the locker room and how they handle themselves, you know, in the classroom and across campus.
What do you like about this year's team, and what are you trying to improve on?
Well, you know, I think we've had consistent play as of late out of our three seniors. I think it's the best that they've played. You know, that we struggled the other night at St. Mary's, but I think overall those three have played very consistently. And this group, I think, has had tremendous chemistry. You know, it's not something that you have to manufacture or create as a coach. It's genuine. They care about each other. And I think when you have that, then you're going to have a chance to win, because nobody really cares who scores or, you know, who gets the credit. It's a team effort, and that's what you want.
Our thanks to Coach Greer. Now, Coach, in just a few seconds, tell me, what are the keys to victory today, first of all, for the Broncos?
Well, for Santa Clara, they need to do what they do best, and that's, you know, with the turnover margin that they create off their defense. They're really good at taking your mistakes and turning them into points for them, and they got to neutralize Johnny Dee and make it very difficult for him to score tonight.
All right, and then clearly critical for San Diego to get great guard play from Chris Anderson and Johnny Dee, and the Toreros hoping playing at home will make them feel better about things. Do not go anywhere. We've got hoops coming up at the top of the hour. The Broncos and the Toreros.